Hey everyone, and welcome back to Pink English.
Hi, everyone. We are so excited to learn with you today.
I'm Sophia, and this is Daniel. Our goal is to make English easy and fun for you.
Exactly. If you enjoy our lessons, please hit the like button and subscribe. It really supports the channel.
Today, we are talking about exercise.
We will practice listening, learn key words and phrases, and boost your confidence.
Ready? Let's dive in. I am so happy to be discussing this topic today, Daniel, because it is something I have been thinking about a lot lately. Actually, I went for a very long walk this morning before coming to the studio. Did you do anything active today?
Well, Sophia, I must be honest with you and our listeners. I struggled to get out of bed this morning. I hit the snooze button on my alarm clock at least 3 times. I finally managed to do about 10 minutes of stretching, but I would not call it a full workout. I feel a bit guilty because I know how important it is to move, but sometimes my bed is just too comfortable.
Oh, do not feel guilty at all. We all have those mornings. 10 minutes of stretching is much better than 0 minutes of stretching. It's all about starting small. I used to be the same way. I thought that if I did not spend 2 hours at the gym, it did not count as exercise. But over the years, I have realized that even a short walk or some light movement can completely change my mood for the rest of the day.
That is so true. Whenever I do manage to get a good sweat going, I feel like a completely different person. I have more energy and I find it easier to focus on my work. Why do you think it is so hard for us to get started, though? I mean, we know it's good for us, but the couch always seems so much more inviting than a pair of running shoes.
I think it's because we often view exercise as a chore or a task on our to-do list rather than something we enjoy. We think of it as work. But exercise can be anything that moves your body. It could be dancing in your kitchen, playing with your dog, or even cleaning the house very energetically. We need to find what makes us feel good.
I like that perspective. Dancing in the kitchen definitely sounds more fun than running on a treadmill. I think my problem is that I get bored easily. I start a routine, I do it for a week, and then I lose interest. I need variety. Maybe today's lesson will help me find some new ideas for staying active while we learn some great English.
I am sure it will. We have so much to cover. We are going to talk about the different ways people stay fit, the science behind why our bodies need movement, and some common expressions we use when we talk about fitness in English. I'm ready to get into the details if you are.
I am definitely ready. I have my notebook and my pen, and I'm ready to learn some new words.
That's the spirit. Let's start by looking at the different categories of movement, because not all exercise is the same. One of the most common terms you'll hear when people talk about fitness is cardiovascular.
That's a long word. How do you spell that?
It's spelled Cardiovascular. Cardiovascular.
Cardiovascular. Got it. And what does it mean exactly?
It refers to anything that relates to the heart and the blood vessels. When we talk about cardiovascular exercise, or cardio for short, we mean activities that increase your heart rate and improve the health of your heart and lungs. Think of things like running, swimming, cycling, or even walking fast. The goal is to get your heart pumping.
I see. So, for example, I could say that swimming is my favorite cardiovascular exercise because it works my whole body without putting too much pressure on my joints.
That is a perfect sentence, and you touched on a great point. Many people prefer swimming because it's low impact, which means it's gentle on the body. But for those who want to build strength, they might look for something else, like resistance training.
Resistance. I know that word in a general sense, like resisting temptation, but how do we use it in exercise? Let's spell it first.
Good idea. Resistance is spelled Resistance.
Resistance. Resistance.
In the context of fitness, resistance training is any type of exercise where your muscles have to work against some form of force. This could be lifting weights, using elastic bands, or even using your own body weight, like doing push-ups. The idea is that the resistance causes your muscles to get stronger over time.
That makes sense. So if I'm lifting a heavy dumbbell, that weight is providing the resistance. A sentence could be, my trainer told me that adding resistance to my workout routine will help me build more muscle and improve my bone density.
Exactly. It's not just about big muscles, it's about being strong and healthy. Now, another very important part of a balanced routine is something I personally love, which is flexibility.
I definitely need more of that. I can barely touch my toes. How do we spell flexibility?
It's Flexbility.
Flexibility.
Flexibility refers to the ability of your joints and muscles to move through a full range of motion. If you have good flexibility, you're less likely to get injured and your body feels more relaxed. Activities like yoga and Pilates are famous for improving flexibility.
I really should try yoga. I always feel so stiff after sitting at my desk all day. So I could say practicing yoga twice a week has greatly improved my flexibility and reduced my back pain.
That is a very common experience. Being flexible helps with everyday movements, like reaching for something on a high shelf or bending down to tie your shoes. But to do those things for a long time, you also need endurance.
Endurance. That sounds like something you need for a marathon. Spell it for me, please.
It is Endurance.
Endurance.
Endurance, you're right, is the ability to sustain a physical or mental effort for a long period of time. It's about how long you can keep going before you get tired. While cardiovascular health is about the heart, endurance is often about the stamina of your entire body.
So an example would be running a marathon requires a huge amount of physical endurance and mental toughness.
Precisely. It's a very impressive quality to have. However, none of these things, cardiovascular health, resistance, flexibility, or endurance, will happen if you don't have the most important thing of all, which is consistency.
The one I struggle with the most. Let's spell it out.
It is Consistency.
Consistency.
Consistency is the quality of doing something regularly and staying with it over time. In exercise, it's much better to walk for 20 minutes every single day than to run for 3 hours once a month. Consistency is what creates real change in your body and your habits.
That is a great reminder. I often try to do too much at once and then I get burnt out. I should focus on consistency instead. Here's a sentence. Consistency is the key to seeing long-term results in any fitness program.
I couldn't agree more. If you can find a way to make movement a regular part of your life, you have already won half the battle. It is not about being perfect. It is about showing up for yourself as often as you can.
I love that. Showing up for yourself. It makes exercise sound like an act of kindness rather than a punishment.
It really is. It's a way of saying thank you to your body for everything it does for you. When we move, we are taking care of our future selves.
That was a lot of great vocabulary about types of movement, Sophia. I feel like I have a much better understanding of the different ways we can describe our workouts now.
I'm glad to hear that, Daniel. But understanding the types of exercise is just the beginning. To really stay motivated, I think it helps to understand why our bodies respond the way they do when we move. It's not just about the external changes we see in the mirror. There's so much happening inside of us, chemically and biologically.
You are right. When I know the science behind it, I feel more like I'm doing something important. For example, people always talk about how exercise helps with weight, but I know it's more about how the body uses energy.
Exactly. And that brings us to a very important word, metabolism.
Oh, I hear that one in health commercials all the time. Let's spell it.
It is metabolism.
metabolism. Metabolism.
Metabolism refers to the chemical processes that happen inside your body to keep you alive and keep your organs functioning. It's how your body converts what you eat and drink into energy. When people say they want to speed up their metabolism, they mean they want their body to burn energy more efficiently even when they are resting.
So exercise plays a big role in that because muscles burn more energy than fat, right?
That is correct. The more muscle mass you have, the higher your resting metabolism will be. You could say regular strength training can help boost your metabolism, which makes it easier to maintain a healthy weight.
That is a great motivation to lift some weights. But what about the mental side? I always feel so much happier after a workout. Is there a word for those happy chemicals?
There certainly is. They are called endorphins.
Endorphins. I've heard they're like natural medicine. How do you spell it?
It is endorphins.
Endorphins. Endorphins.
Endorphins are chemicals produced by the body to relieve stress and pain. They work similarly to a class of drugs called opioids. When you exercise, especially during intense activity, your body releases a flood of endorphins, which can lead to what people call a runner's high. It's a feeling of euphoria and well-being.
I've definitely felt that. It's like all my worries just disappear for a while. For a sentence, I could say, the rush of endorphins I get after a hard workout is the best way to relieve the stress of a busy workday.
It is nature's antidepressant, and we need it more than ever because so many of us lead a sedentary lifestyle nowadays.
Sedentary. That describes me when I'm playing video games for 5 hours straight. How do you spell that?
It is sedentary.
Sedentary. Sedentary.
When we say a lifestyle or a job is sedentary, we mean it involves a lot of sitting and very little physical activity. With modern technology, many of us spend our whole day sitting at desks, in cars, or on couches. Being sedentary for too long can lead to many health problems, which is why it's so important to break up those long periods of sitting.
That is a very useful word. I could say, since I started working from home, my lifestyle has become much more sedentary, so I try to take a walk every lunch break to stay active.
That is a very healthy habit to have. It all contributes to your overall wellness.
Wellness is a word I see everywhere, on water bottles, at spas, and in hospitals. Let's spell it out to be sure.
It is WELLNESSS.
WELLNESSS. Wellness.
Wellness is a broad term. It's the state of being in good health, but it's more than just not being sick. It's an actively pursued goal to be the best version of yourself, physically, mentally, and emotionally. Exercise is a major pillar of wellness because it supports so many different parts of our health at once.
So it's like a holistic approach to life. I might say I'm focusing on my overall wellness this year by eating better, sleeping more, and making time for daily exercise.
That sounds like a wonderful goal. But to reach that goal, you need one final thing that we haven't talked about in detail yet, and that is discipline.
Discipline. The thing that makes you go to the gym even when it's raining and you'd rather stay inside with a hot chocolate. Spell it for us, Sophia.
It is DISCIPLINE.
DISCIPLINE. Discipline.
Discipline is the ability to control your own behavior and make yourself do things that you know you should do, even if you don't want to do them. While motivation is the feeling that gets you started, discipline is what keeps you going when the motivation disappears. It's a muscle that you have to train, just like your physical muscles.
That's a tough one, but it's so necessary. I could say, developing the discipline to exercise every morning has helped me become more productive in other areas of my life as well.
That is a very powerful sentence, Daniel. When you master discipline in one area, like fitness, it really does spill over into your work and your personal growth. It gives you a sense of mastery over your own life.
I agree. It feels good to know that you're in control of your actions. We've covered some really deep concepts here, from how the heart works with cardiovascular health to the mental strength of discipline. It makes me realize that exercise is about so much more than just the gym. It's about how we live our lives.
You hit the nail on the head. It's a lifestyle. It's about the choices we make every single day. And the best part is that it's never too late to start. Whether you're 20 or 80, your body will always thank you for moving it.
I'm feeling very inspired right now. I think after we finish this recording, I might actually go for that run I was planning to skip.
That's wonderful to hear. But before you go anywhere, we have more to discuss. We've talked about the theory and the vocabulary, but now I want to see how we use these ideas in real conversations. It's one thing to know the words, but it's another to use them naturally when you're talking to friends or colleagues.
You're right. Sometimes I know the word, but I'm not sure how to fit it into a normal chat without sounding like a textbook.
Exactly. That's why practicing scenarios is so helpful. It helps you see the flow of the language. Are you ready to see how this all sounds in action?
I am more than ready. Let's see what we can do with these new words in a real-life situation.
That is the perfect way to look at it, Daniel. To make this really helpful for our listeners, I think we should put ourselves in a real-life situation. Let's imagine we are meeting up at a juice bar right after a morning workout. You look a bit discouraged, and I am trying to cheer you up while we talk about our progress. This will give us a chance to use some natural, everyday English. Are you ready to act a little bit?
I love a good role play. I will put on my tired and discouraged face right now. Let's begin.
Hey, Daniel, over here. I just finished my spin class. You look absolutely exhausted. How was your run in the park?
Oh, hey, Sophia. Honestly, it was pretty rough today. I feel like I'm just dragging my feet. I set out to do 5 miles, but I had to stop at 3 because my legs felt like lead. I don't know what is wrong with me lately. I feel like I'm working so hard, but I'm not seeing any improvement in my speed or my distance.
I'm sorry to hear that, but do not be so hard on yourself. Everyone has days where their body just doesn't want to cooperate. It sounds to me like you might have hit a plateau.
A plateau? I've heard that word before in geography class, but what does it mean when we talk about exercise?
That's a great question. Let's break that word down for everyone listening. Plateau is spelled P-L-A-T-E-A-U.
P-L-A-T-A-U. Plateau.
In fitness, a plateau is a period of time where you stop seeing progress, even though you're still exercising regularly. It's like your body has reached a flat level and has adapted to your current routine. It's very common and usually means you need to change something in your workout to challenge your body in a new way.
That describes exactly how I feel. I've been doing the same 3-mile run at the same pace for a month. I guess my body is just bored. I feel like I've hit the wall.
That's another perfect expression, to hit the wall. Let's spell that out too. H-I-T-T-H-E-W-A-L-L.
H-I-T-T-H-E-W-A-L-L. To hit the wall.
This is a phrase we use when a person suddenly loses all their energy and feels like they cannot continue. It's very common for marathon runners to say they hit the wall at the 20-mile mark. It's that moment where your body has used up all its immediate fuel and your brain is telling you to stop.
I definitely hit the wall today at the 2-mile mark. It was frustrating. I see people on social media all the time saying no pain, no gain, and I felt like I was having a lot of pain, but absolutely no gain.
I'm glad you brought that up because that's a classic idiom. No pain, no gain. Let's spell it out slowly. N-O-P-A-I-N, N-O-G-A-I-N.
N-O-P-A-I-N, N-O-G-A-I-N. No pain, no gain.
This phrase suggests you have to work through discomfort or difficulty to achieve your goals. While it's true that exercise should be challenging, I always tell people to be careful with this one. You should feel the burn in your muscles, but you should never feel sharp pain. If it hurts in a bad way, you should stop.
That is good advice. I think I was pushing myself too hard without a proper warm-up.
That might be it. A warm-up is so important. Let's spell that. W-A-R-M-U-P.
W-A-R-M-U-P. Warm-up.
A warm-up is a set of gentle exercises you do before a more intense workout. It prepares your muscles and increases your blood flow so you don't get injured. If you skip your warm-up, your body isn't ready for the stress of a run, and that's why you might feel like your legs are heavy.
I definitely skipped it today. I was in a rush and just started sprinting. I think I've learned my lesson. Next time, I'll spend at least 10 minutes getting my body ready.
I think that's a wise choice. And don't forget the opposite, which is the cool down. COOLDOWN.
COOLDOWN. Cool down.
The cool down is the period at the end of your workout where you slow down your pace and stretch. It helps your heart rate return to normal and prevents your muscles from getting too sore the next day.
You are full of great tips today, Sophia. I'm feeling a bit better already just talking about it. Maybe I just need to give myself a break and try something different tomorrow.
That's the spirit. Maybe come to my spin class with me. It's a completely different type of movement, and it might be just what you need to break through that plateau.
That was a fun scenario. I really felt the frustration of my character there. I think it's important for our listeners to hear that even people who love exercise have bad days.
Absolutely. Fitness is a journey with many ups and downs. Now let's take a look at those phrases we used because they're very common in English-speaking gyms and parks. The first one we discussed was hitting a plateau.
Right. PLATEAU. You said it's when progress stops. How would I use that in a sentence if I were talking to a trainer?
You could say, I've been lifting the same amount of weight for 3 weeks and I haven't seen any muscle growth. I think I've hit a plateau. It shows that you understand your progress has stalled. It's a very natural way to describe the situation.
And what about that phrase to hit the wall? HITTHEWALL.
This one is more about a specific moment during an exercise session. For example, I was doing great during the hike, but after 4 hours of climbing, I really hit the wall and needed to take a long break. It describes a sudden and total loss of energy.
I like that. It's very descriptive. It makes me think of literally running into a brick wall because you just can't move forward.
Exactly. And the last one was no pain, no gain. NOPAIN. NOGAIN.
NOPAIN. NOGAIN. No pain, no gain.
This phrase suggests that you have to work through discomfort or difficulty to achieve your goals. While it's true that exercise should be challenging, I always tell people to be careful with this one. You should feel the burn in your muscles, but you should never feel sharp pain. If it hurts in a bad way, you should stop.
That is good advice. I think I was pushing myself too hard without a proper warm-up.
That might be it. A warm-up is so important. Let's spell that. WARMUP.
WARMUP. Warm-up.
A warm-up is a set of gentle exercises you do before a more intense workout. It prepares your muscles and increases your blood flow so you don't get injured. If you skip your warm-up, your body isn't ready for the stress of a run, and that's why you might feel like your legs are heavy.
I definitely skipped it today. I was in a rush and just started sprinting. I think I've learned my lesson. Next time, I'll spend at least 10 minutes getting my body ready.
I think that's a wise choice. And don't forget the opposite, which is the cool down. COOLDOWN.
COOLDOWN. Cool down.
The cool down is the period at the end of your workout where you slow down your pace and stretch. It helps your heart rate return to normal and prevents your muscles from getting too sore the next day.
You are full of great tips today, Sophia. I'm feeling a bit better already just talking about it. Maybe I just need to give myself a break and try something different tomorrow.
That's the spirit. Maybe come to my spin class with me. It's a completely different type of movement, and it might be just what you need to break through that plateau.
That was a fun scenario. I really felt the frustration of my character there. I think it's important for our listeners to hear that even people who love exercise have bad days.
Absolutely. Fitness is a journey with many ups and downs. Now let's take a look at those phrases we used because they're very common in English-speaking gyms and parks. The first one we discussed was hitting a plateau.
Right. PLATEAU. You said it's when progress stops. How would I use that in a sentence if I were talking to a trainer?
You could say, I've been lifting the same amount of weight for 3 weeks and I haven't seen any muscle growth. I think I've hit a plateau. It shows that you understand your progress has stalled. It's a very natural way to describe the situation.
And what about that phrase to hit the wall? HITTHEWALL.
This one is more about a specific moment during an exercise session. For example,
I was doing great during the hike, but after 4 hours of climbing, I really hit the wall and needed to take a long break. It describes a sudden and total loss of energy.
I like that. It's very descriptive. It makes me think of literally running into a brick wall because you just can't move forward.
Exactly. And the last one was no pain, no gain. NOPAIN, NOGAIN.
NOPAIN, NOGAIN. No pain, no gain.
This phrase suggests that you have to work through discomfort or difficulty to achieve your goals. While it's true that exercise should be challenging, I always tell people to be careful with this one. You should feel the burn in your muscles, but you should never feel sharp pain. If it hurts in a bad way, you should stop.
That is good advice. I think I was pushing myself too hard without a proper warm-up.
That might be it. A warm-up is so important. Let's spell that. WARMUP.
WARMUP, warm-up.
A warm-up is a set of gentle exercises you do before a more intense workout. It prepares your muscles and increases your blood flow so you don't get injured. If you skip your warm-up, your body isn't ready for the stress of a run, and that's why you might feel like your legs are heavy.
I definitely skipped it today. I was in a rush and just started sprinting. I think I've learned my lesson. Next time, I'll spend at least 10 minutes getting my body ready.
I think that's a wise choice. And don't forget the opposite, which is the cool down. COOLDOWN.
COOLDOWN.
The cool down is the period at the end of your workout where you slow down your pace and stretch. It helps your heart rate return to normal and prevents your muscles from getting too sore the next day.
You are full of great tips today, Sophia. I am feeling a bit better already just talking about it. Maybe I just need to give myself a break and try something different tomorrow.
That is the spirit. Maybe come to my spin class with me. It is a completely different type of movement, and it might be just what you need to break through that plateau.
That was a fun scenario. I really felt the frustration of my character there. I think it is important for our listeners to hear that even people who love exercise have bad days.
Absolutely. Fitness is a journey with many ups and downs. Now, let's take a look at those phrases we used because they are very common in English-speaking gyms and parks. The first one we discussed was hitting a plateau.
Right. PLATEAU. You said it is when progress stops. How would I use that in a sentence if I were talking to a trainer?
You could say, I have been lifting the same amount of weight for 3 weeks and I haven't seen any muscle growth. I think I have hit a plateau. It shows that you understand your progress has stalled. It's a very natural way to describe the situation.
And what about that phrase, to hit the wall? HITTHEWALL.
This one is more about a specific moment during an exercise session. For example, I was doing great during the hike, but after 4 hours of climbing, I really hit the wall and needed to take a long break. It describes a sudden and total loss of energy.
I like that. It's very descriptive. It makes me think of literally running into a brick wall because you just can't move forward.
Exactly. And the last one was no pain, no gain. NOPAIN, NOGAIN. As I mentioned, it is a very famous saying. You might hear a coach shout this at their athletes during a difficult practice. It means that the hard work and the struggle are necessary parts of getting better.
I see. So a sentence could be, my legs are so sore from the gym yesterday, but I guess it is true what they say. No pain, no gain.
Perfect. It's often used to motivate someone or to explain why an exercise is so difficult. Just remember to use it with a bit of a smile because it can be a very intense thing to say.
Noted. I will save that one for when I am feeling particularly tough.
Now that we have covered a casual conversation between friends, I think we should try something a bit more structured. How about we move to a different setting?
That sounds like a plan. Where are we going this time?
Let's imagine a more professional setting. I will be a fitness consultant at a high-end gym, and you are a new member who wants a professional assessment. This will allow us to use some more technical, formal vocabulary that you might encounter if you ever join a gym in an English-speaking country.
Oh, a professional assessment. I need to sit up straighter and look more serious for this one. I'm ready when you are.
Welcome to the Pink English Fitness Center, Daniel. I'm Sophia, the head consultant. I understand you're looking to start a new program with us?
Yes, that is correct. I have been active in the past, but I have been away from the gym for a month. I want to make sure I am doing things the right way this time. I am interested in improving my body composition, and I want to set some clear goals.
That is a great place to start. Many people just jump into exercises without a plan, but we prefer a more data-driven approach here. To begin, we should talk about your body composition. Let's spell that for our records. BODYCOMPOSITION.
BODYCOMPOSITION. Body composition.
Body composition refers to the percentage of fat, bone, water, and muscle in your body. It's a much more accurate measure of health than just looking at the number on a scale. Our goal will be to help you decrease your body fat percentage while increasing your lean muscle mass.
I like that. I'm less worried about my weight and more worried about how I feel and how my clothes fit. What is the next step in the assessment?
We need to determine your target heart rate zones. This will help us ensure your cardiovascular workouts are effective. Heart rate is spelled HEARTRATE.
HEARTRATE. Heart rate.
Your heart rate is the number of times your heart beats per minute. By knowing your maximum heart rate, we can calculate the best intensity for your workouts. For example, if you want to burn fat, you might work at 60% of your maximum. If you want to improve your endurance, you might go higher.
That sounds very scientific. I usually just run until I'm out of breath.
We want to avoid that. Training too hard can lead to overtraining, which is just as bad as not training enough. We want to find the sweet spot. Now, let's talk about your routine. We will be looking at your reps and your sets.
Reps and sets. I always get those two mixed up. Can you explain the difference and spell them?
Of course. Reps is short for repetitions. REPETITIONS.
REPETITIONS. Repetitions, or reps.
A rep is a single complete action of an exercise. For example, lifting a weight up and putting it back down one time is one rep. Now, a set is a group of those reps. SETS.
SETS. Sets.
So if I tell you to do 3 sets of 10 reps of an exercise, it means you will lift the weight 10 times, rest, and then repeat that whole process 2 more times.
Thank you for clarifying that. So a sentence from my records could be, my new program consists of 4 sets of 12 reps for each major muscle group.
Exactly. This structure helps you track your progress. As you get stronger, you can increase the weight or the number of reps. Finally, we need to discuss your recovery. Recovery is spelled RECOVERY.
RECOVERY. Recovery.
Recovery is the time you give your body to rest and repair itself after exercise. This is actually when your muscles grow and get stronger. If you do not allow for enough recovery time, you risk injury and exhaustion. We recommend at least 1 or 2 rest days per week.
I think I can handle that. I like the idea of rest being part of the program.
Well, Daniel, I think we have a solid foundation for your new fitness journey. Do you have any questions?
Not at all, Sophia. I feel very well informed. Thank you for your time.
My pleasure. We'll see you on the gym floor tomorrow.
And we're back. That felt very official. I think I learned a lot just from playing that role.
It's important to know those terms because gym culture can be very technical. If you go to a gym in London, New York, or Sydney, the trainers will use words like reps, sets, and body composition all the time.
Let's look at that word reps again. REPS. It's such a short word, but it's used so often. Can I use it for any exercise?
Yes, any exercise that involves a repeating movement. You can have reps of push-ups, reps of sit-ups, or even reps of jumps. It's the basic unit of measurement for a workout.
And sets, SETS, is how we organize those reps. I could say, I felt really strong today, so I decided to add an extra set of lunges to my leg routine.
Perfect usage. It shows you are increasing the volume of your workout. And what about that word recovery? RECOVERY.
That is a vital one. A sentence might be, proper nutrition and sleep are essential components of muscle recovery after a high-intensity workout.
You are absolutely right. Many people forget that what you do outside the gym is just as important as what you do inside the gym. Recovery is where the magic happens.
I also liked the term body composition. BODYCOMPOSITION. It feels much more positive than just talking about weight. It's about the quality of your body.
It is a very professional way to speak about fitness. If you were talking to a doctor or a fitness professional, using the term body composition shows that you have a high level of health literacy.
Health literacy. That's a great phrase, too. It means understanding health information, right?
Precisely. And that's exactly what we're doing here today. We're helping our listeners improve their English literacy and their health literacy at the same time.
We are multitasking. I love it. We've covered a lot of ground in these two scenarios. We went from a casual chat in the park to a formal consultation at a gym.
And in both situations, the language was different, but the core topic was the same. This shows how versatile English can be. You can use simple idioms like no pain, no gain with your friends, or more complex terms like target heart rate in a professional setting.
It really gives me more confidence to know when to use which words. I feel like I'm building my own fitness vocabulary set.
That is a great way to put it. You are doing the reps for your English brain right now.
I see what you did there. I'm definitely feeling the burn in my brain, but in a good way.
That's what we like to hear. Before we move on to the next part of our lesson, I want to make sure we really understand the difference between those formal and informal ways of talking about fitness. For example, if I'm tired, I might say, I'm wiped out.
Wiped out. Let's spell that. W-I-P-E-D out.
WIPEDOUT. This is a very informal way to say you were extremely tired. You might say, after that hike, I was completely wiped out and slept for 10 hours.
I love that. I use that all the time. But in a formal setting, like with a trainer, I might say, I'm experiencing significant fatigue.
Exactly. Fatigue is the formal word. Fatigue.
F-A-T-I-G-U-E. Fatigue.
Using the right word for the right situation is a key part of becoming an intermediate and advanced English speaker. It shows that you understand the social context of the language.
This has been such a deep dive, Sophia. I feel like my brain has had a full-body workout today.
Well, don't worry, we are not done yet. We still have some more interesting things to discuss regarding how we talk about exercise in social situations.
I'm looking forward to it. I have my water bottle ready and my notebook is almost full.
Great. Let's keep that momentum going. We have looked at the technical side and the social side, and now I want to talk a bit more about how we integrate these conversations into our daily lives. It's one thing to talk about exercise at the gym, but what about when we're at a dinner party or a work lunch?
That is a very important point. In many cultures, talking about exercise can be a big part of small talk.
It really is. It's a universal topic that helps people connect. Whether you're an elite athlete or someone who just started walking for health, everyone has something to say about it.
I agree. I've made a lot of friends just by asking people what they do to stay active. It's a great conversation starter.
It truly is. And it's a great way to practice your English in a low-stress environment.
I'm ready to learn how to navigate those social waters. What's next on our list?
Next, we're going to look at the cultural side of things. How do different people in different places view exercise, and how do we talk about it without being rude or sounding like we're bragging?
That sounds very useful. I don't want to be that person who only talks about their treadmill time.
We'll make sure that doesn't happen. Let's get into it.
I'm really curious about the cultural side of this, Sophia. I've noticed that in some cultures, talking about your fitness routine is seen as a bit boastful, like you're showing off. But in others, it seems like everyone is talking about their latest marathon or their new personal record at the gym. How do we navigate those social rules in English without making people feel uncomfortable?
That is such a perceptive question, Daniel. You're right that cultural norms vary wildly. In many English-speaking countries, particularly in the United States and the United Kingdom, health and fitness have become major social topics. It's very common for people to discuss their workout habits at the office or during a casual dinner. However, there is a certain etiquette we should follow. Let's spell that word first because it's a bit tricky. It's ETIQUE. TTE.
ETIQUETTE. Etiquette.
Exactly. Etiquette is about being mindful of others. For example, when you're in a social setting, it's great to share your progress, but you should also ask others about their experiences. It shouldn't be a one-way conversation about how many miles you ran. A good way to start is by asking a general question like, do you have any favorite ways to stay active? This allows the other person to share what they enjoy, whether it's gardening, walking the dog, or high-intensity interval training.
I like that. It makes the conversation more inclusive. But what if I'm talking to someone who is clearly not interested in exercise? I don't want to make them feel guilty. Sometimes I feel like a couch potato compared to my very active friends. Let's spell that. Couchpotato.
Couchpotato. A couch potato is a very common idiom for someone who spends a lot of time sitting or lying down, usually watching television, and does not get much exercise.
Right, so if I feel like a couch potato, I might feel a bit intimidated talking to a gym rat. Can we spell that one too? Gymrat.
Gymrat. A gym rat is someone who spends a huge amount of time at the gym. It is usually used in a friendly, slightly joking way. If you are talking to a gym rat, the best etiquette is to show interest in their dedication without feeling like you have to compete with them. You might say, I really admire your consistency. I am still trying to find a routine that works for me. It is honest and keeps the social vibe positive.
That is a great way to handle it. It takes the pressure off. Now, what about when people ask you to go for a run or join a class, but you really just don't want to? Or maybe you're feeling a bit lazy? How do you politely make an excuse without sounding like you're just making things up?
In English, we often use softeners to make our excuses sound more polite. Instead of saying, no, I don't want to, you could say, I would love to, but I'm feeling a bit under the weather today. Let's spell that phrase. Underweather.
Underweather. Under the weather.
This is a very common idiom that means you are feeling slightly sick or not at your best. It is a very polite and socially acceptable way to decline an invitation to do something physical. Another common reason people give is that they are feeling burnt out. Let's spell that. Burnout.
Burnout. Burnout.
Burnout refers to a state of physical or emotional exhaustion. In a fitness context, you might say, I've been training really hard lately, and I think I'm experiencing some burnout, so I'm taking a rest day. People will always respect that because they understand the importance of recovery, which we talked about earlier.
Those are very helpful phrases. I think I've definitely used the under the weather excuse a few times. But what about the fashion? I see people wearing gym clothes everywhere now, even at the grocery store or a coffee shop. Is there a word for that?
There is. It's a huge cultural trend called athleisure. Let's spell it. Athleasure.
Athleasure. Athleisure.
Athleisure is a style of clothing that is designed for workouts but is worn in other settings like the workplace or social outings. It has become a multi-billion-dollar industry. This shows how much fitness culture has integrated into our daily lives. You don't just exercise, you wear the lifestyle.
That is so true. I'm wearing my track pants right now. It's very comfortable. I think it also shows that people are prioritizing their health and comfort more than they used to.
I agree. Another thing to consider in a social context is mindfulness. People often combine exercise with mental health practices now. Let's spell that. Mindfulness.
Mindfulness. Mindfulness.
Mindfulness is the practice of being fully present and aware of where we are and what we are doing. In exercise, this means focusing on your breath and how your muscles feel, rather than just trying to finish the workout as fast as possible. When you talk to people about fitness now, you'll often hear them mention how it helps their mental clarity and mindfulness.
That is a very modern way of looking at it. It's not just about the body, it's about the mind. I think that's why yoga and meditation have become so popular. It's like a form of me time. Let's spell that one. METIME.
METIME. Me time.
Me time is time that you spend doing something for yourself to relax and recharge. For many people, their morning run or their evening swim is their essential me time.
I love that term. It makes exercise feel like a treat rather than a chore. If you tell a friend, I can't meet for coffee at 5 because that's my me time at the gym, they'll totally understand and respect that boundary.
This has been such an enlightening conversation, Sophia. We've talked about everything from heart rates to fashion and social etiquette. I feel like I'm ready to have a full conversation about exercise with anyone now.
You have done an incredible job today, Daniel. You have learned so many new words and phrases. I think it's about time we started wrapping things up. But before we go, we should probably review some of the heavy hitters from today's lesson.
I agree. My notebook is full, but a quick review would be perfect to make sure everything sticks in my memory.
Let's do a quick vocabulary masterclass. I will say a word, and you give me a quick definition or a reminder of why it's important. Then we'll switch. Are you ready?
I'm ready. Let's go.
The first word is cardiovascular. Cardiovascular.
That refers to the heart and blood vessels. It's all about those activities that get your heart pumping, like running or swimming.
Perfect. Now your turn to give me one.
Okay, let's look at resistance. Resistance.
That's when your muscles work against a force, like weights or your own body weight, to build strength and bone density. My turn. Flexibility. Flexibility.
That's the ability of your joints to move through a full range of motion. It's what allows me to, eventually, hopefully, touch my toes. Next is endurance. Endurance.
That's the stamina to keep going for a long time. It's what marathon runners have in abundance. My turn again. Consistency. Consistency.
The most important one, it means doing something regularly. It's better to do a little every day than a lot once a month. Okay, how about metabolism? Metabolism.
That's the chemical process in our bodies that converts food into energy. We can boost it with muscle-building exercises. Your turn? Endorphins. Endorphins.
Those are the feel-good chemicals our brains release during exercise that give us that runner's high and reduce stress. Next, sedentary. Sedentary.
That describes a lifestyle with lots of sitting and very little movement. It's something we should all try to avoid. My turn for a phrase. Hit a plateau. Plateau.
That's when your progress stops even though you're still working out. It means it's time to change your routine and try something new. And finally, recovery. Recovery.
That's the vital rest time our bodies need to repair and grow stronger after a workout. Without it, we risk injury. We did it! 10 powerful words to help our listeners talk about fitness like pros.
That was a great review. I feel much more confident now. But before we leave our listeners, we have a very important question for them.
We certainly do. This is our question of the day. We want to hear from you in the comments section below.
Our question is, what is your favorite way to stay active? And how do you find the discipline to keep going when you're feeling a bit like a couch potato?
We love reading your stories and hearing about your fitness journeys. It helps us feel like a real community here at Pink English.
It really does. Thank you so much for spending this time with us today. If you found this lesson helpful, please don't forget to share it with a friend who is also learning English.
Thank you for joining us. Remember, every step you take, whether it's in your fitness or your English learning, is a step towards a better you. Keep practicing, stay consistent, and we'll see you in the next lesson.
Exactly. See you next time, everyone. Bye.
Goodbye.